What is it like to die? Do we know? Have we experienced it before? Do we remember going through those experiences? Well, I wanted to take you on a little journey in this video that might really blow your mind. Um, we're in this reality. We're moving in this planet on Gaia up through the fourth dimension. Our energy is moving faster. We're vibrating at a faster rate. DNA is becoming unlocked, releasing density, and density is coming up to be felt. In this dimension, things become a little bit less pliable. Now, we all have traumas, we have limiting beliefs, we have programming that keeps us anchored to old 3D realities. Now, go back to when the planet was in a really dense state, okay? A timeline of a dense 3D nature, okay? Where we're really cut off from who we are. We just think we're these bodies, these humans walking around, and we're born and we die, and that's the end of it all, right? So when we think about life from that frequency, from that 3D frequency, and you approach death and you pass on out of that body, you start to ascend into the fourth dimension. Okay, so that can be very traumatic because you've detached from a physical body, but yet you have these really strong limiting beliefs that separate you from your oneness, who you truly are, your multidimensionalness. So you kind of might continue on thinking that you're still in a physical body, right? Not realizing that you're connected, that you are a spiritual being. Okay, so what's happening now, though? The Earth has risen in frequency from a 3D timeline and is moving through the fourth dimension, and we're experiencing it. So I ask you this question: are we alive or are we dead? Did we die? Maybe we died or you died, and this is kind of what you're experiencing post-death, right? Could be. Certainly, this is what it was probably like dying from a 3D timeline, okay, way back, okay, when the Earth was at a denser state, denser frequency, lower frequency, a denser incarnation. So we're moving up through 4D now, and things are seeming a little bit more pliable. We're getting this connectedness that there's more to life than just this physical body. Maybe the reality that we're seeing through our five senses looks a little bit less rigid. Maybe it looks a little bit less unreal, more like a movie, more like a backdrop, right? Okay, which is akin to what a denser version of us might have experienced right after death, into this astral realm of where things kind of felt the same, but yet something's different, okay? Well, as we ascend and the planet ascends, we are rising in frequency. And we still have these limiting beliefs. We think that we're just this body, even though many of you have awakened to the fact that you're a multidimensional being, but still your five senses deceive you, and they make you think at times, when we're not conscious of who we really are, they make us think at times that we are this physical body. So we're looking out into a reality that still maybe is a shadow of a 3D reality, a shadow of a former self of a reality, still looks very real, but yet there's something different within us. And we realize, hey, this is not as real as I once thought it was. It becomes more pliable. And this is our energy moving through us and starting to manifest out. Now, when we could bring awareness to this process, we could start to realize that we could have a profound effect on this reality, right? When we're playing in this fourth dimensional reality, things are less rigid, the rules change, and our thoughts tend to bind to matter a little bit differently. And we could create a reality more in alignment with our soul, okay? We could bring conscious awareness to our thoughts, and we could have an effect with intent on the matter around us. And that's what we're starting to experience. Much like those in the past when Earth was in that dense 3D timeline, after they had passed on, would have found themselves in a reality that was very similar to the old, but yet less rigid, right? Well, we're moving through that reality now. So again, I want to pose this question to you. Did we die? Are we dead? How would we even know, right? Well, isn't it really irrelevant? Okay, if we were locked into a 3D timeline and had died, find ourselves here thinking we're still alive, but yet we're in a higher frequency, does it matter whether we've ascended into this or we have died and found ourselves in that reality? It really doesn't. These are limiting beliefs. These are limiting beliefs that surround the belief of life and death, that we come here, we live, we die, we're done. Okay. And that is not the truth. So we are on this ride now where we are ascending up into higher frequencies. And as we do that, the reality we find ourselves in becomes less rigid, more pliable, more easily manipulated, more easily created, more easily adjusted based on our intent, our conscious intent. When we put that charge of our awareness into the thoughts and the emotions come along with it, we can affect this reality in a much easier manner. And that's where we find ourselves right now. Now, I know we look out, we see a lot of craziness, a lot of clearing, things like that. Those are the anchors that were binding us to a 3D timeline, and those are crumbling apart. They're falling away. We're seeing it, we're becoming aware of it. And as more of us awaken to it, those ties become weaker and the planet separates, right? It's almost like two Earths, one breaking off from another. Well, we're on the Earth that is moving into the higher timeline. So if you fear death, you're really going through it right now, right? You're really going through it right now. And maybe it feels a little uncomfortable, a little unfamiliar, but if you sit and you be present with the fact that everything feels different, we're experiencing something now that 10, 15 years ago, we never could have even fathomed. We couldn't even have imagined that reality would look the way it does right now or feel the way it does. We'd be in this awakening process, this consciousness process, right? So we're going through it and we're experiencing it right now, whether we've died and moved into a higher frequency or we're riding into a higher frequency in this lifetime. It's irrelevant because that is just a process and a belief that is seen through the five senses and through subconscious programming. So we want to work to let that go. So we come in here and we feel this energy moving and we release those chains that tied us to the lower timelines and we allow ourselves to rise. We rise in frequency and we start to take conscious control over our reality and we start to put our emotionally charged intent into our thoughts. And if you do this, I believe that you're going to really be amazed with what happens in your life, how you start to align with that highest timeline for your soul purpose. Things are going to start happening around you. Opportunities are going to open up. Relationships are going to change. You're going to start to attract more things that are in alignment with your highest timeline. And that's what's happening right now. So we detach from that rigidity. We move into this pliable space. We accelerate our energy. We ground more of our soul. We start to take the steering wheel back and we take conscious control over our destiny as sovereign beings. And we start to affect the movie, the reality around us. If you know anyone this video can help, share it. I'd greatly appreciate it. Click that subscribe button. Click the follow if you're on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you.